Okay, we on air. What's
All right.
popping? What's dropping? This your boy live and direct in absolute full effect out the 82. Y'all already know how do, man. I'm live and direct with my boy Craig Smith out of 662. Y'all already know how he do. What's popping and what's dropping, Mr. Craig?
Man, not much, man. Shoot, just fixing a quick little combination of lunch and dinner, multitasking. And I'm about done because shit. Hey, didn't take me long to do that. You just just gonna have some salmon and some wild rice and a salad, dude. Just and nothing big on this Sunday. That's about it. But what we got in line for today, Jimmy?
Okay, we're gonna start the show off with the Anthony Joshua upset by Andy Ruiz. We're gonna talk about the NBA Finals and what both teams need to do to win. John Morant might have a problem there, man. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Serena Williams taking the L, but we still got some sisters in the French Open that we need to be getting behind. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to him, and I'm gonna go into details, particularly about Naomi Osaka and the changes she made. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have viewer questions, and we're gonna have whatever else that my boy Craig Smith want to talk about. I pretty much put descriptions in the box just because that's particularly the particular things I'm particularly have to talk about. But whatever he want to talk about, that's pretty cool. That's why I put more and more as well. But the first thing I want to get on is Anthony Joshua, old sissy ass, old bitch ass, old. I turned down $50 million plus another $25 million plus a 50-50 split that could have possibly made this dude rich. I'm gonna get on this bitch, because my boy Craig, he doesn't know too much about boxing. I'm not saying he don't know shit about boxing, but he just don't know as much as I am because I'm a avid follower of the particular sport of boxing. This is a
Right.
dummy. This dummy AJ, aka Gay J, aka Ass Juice, aka fucked up Jerry Curl, goddamn Christopher Williams looking ass. Promises we don't keep. Fucked up Jerry Curl having ass from the goddamn 1980s. You should have cut that motherfucker off back in whenever he was born. Nigga, you can't even keep up with the goddamn time, goddamn Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua got his ass uh, beat up by a dude that was shaped like Rosie O'Donnell, in the words of Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to that. The boy, the boy got a Dumpty stomach. This nigga got a big FedEx box stomach up in this motherfucker. This dude got a goddamn oversized tractor trailer tire stomach, man. That's how fucked up. That's how out of shape this dude is. And this is no disrespect to Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is a good dude. He interviews some of the homeboys from the LDBC. Shout out to him. But Andy Ruiz became the first Mexican fighter in the heavyweight division. Now it's official that Mexico or the Mexican Americans, well, you can just say Mexico because he's a Mexican descent, but Mexico officially has a world championship in every division at this point. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
did his thing, man. Because at first, I gave the first round to Anthony Joshua. Uh, Second round could go either way, but the third round was clearly Andy Ruiz, and from that point on, it went downhill for Anthony Joshua. What ended up
Mm-hmm.
happening was Anthony Joshua ended up knocking down Andy Ruiz. Now, for a second, I'm thinking he's hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking Anthony Joshua's going to go on and get him up out of here. But something happened. You know what I'm saying? Andy Ruiz could have easily laid down and said, "Shit, I'm going to get my little payday. I'm going to go back to Al Heyman and possibly get a Deontay Wilder fight and probably get my ass knocked out again and then go back to Imperial Valley." You know what I'm saying? Which
Mm-hmm.
is pretty much the valley of the LA area, Los Angeles. But he didn't. He showed the spirit that the Mexican spirit, as he said. You know what I'm saying? And what ended up happening was Anthony Joshua was looking to get the knockout. He
Right.
wore himself out to where he got caught by Andy Ruiz. I think it was a left hook. Andy Ruiz still had fight in him, and as he got knocked down, and he knocked down Anthony Joshua, and then he managed to knock him down probably a minute later after And Anthony Joshua should have been waved off. The fight should have been waved off in the third round. But he got saved by the bell. That's one argument that you can make. But he should have been knocked out then because he wasn't fit to go back for those few rounds. But he ended up buying himself for 4 more rounds. You know what I'm saying, in that particular situation. That particular round was probably the round of the year. You know, after a guy gets knocked down, because that rarely happens in boxing. That probably happens maybe 5 out of 20 times in boxing. You know, if you can, you know, during the years, you probably see that 5 times out of, 5 times out of 20. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the next few rounds was kind of slow. And then the 7th round, he had that Mexican warrior spirit in him and he knocked him down again. He went to the body, you know what I'm saying? Did some good body work and was able to knock him down again. And then the second knockdown occurred and Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying? He finally, you know what I'm saying, pretty much quit it at that point. But here's the thing, because you've just come back from Alabama, probably less than a year ago, and you know about Deontay Wilder. Everybody in Alabama talks about Deontay Wilder, and probably the biggest name in boxing. You know what I'm saying, with opposition to Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the only other person in boxing you probably can say is bigger than Deontay Wilder at this point. But you had money on the table last year, and I addressed this over a year ago that he had money on the table. You had $50 million on the table. One thing about boxing thrives as much as the heavyweight division thrives. You know,
Right.
when Muhammad Ali was reigning, the heavyweight division, even though boxing was in his day was a lot more, people kept up with boxing a lot more outside of the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division was the creme de la creme division because you had an undisputed champion. Even when Larry Holmes took it, even though Larry Holmes was not the undisputed champion, he was the lineal champion by way of beating Muhammad Ali out of retirement. You know, he carried boxing on his back, and he was the moneymaker. The thing is, all it takes is one punch in the heavyweight division. All it takes is one punch. And that's the reason why people love heavyweight boxing, because lower divisions is harder to get the knockout. With heavyweight division, all it takes is one punch. And in the sense of Anthony Joshua tried to stall out, you know what I'm saying, America's own, Alabama's own, till this day. He tried to stall out Deontay Wilder. And shout out to Marcus Johnson in the chat.
What's up, Marcus?
He said he watched the knockout on Fire Stick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he got his ass knocked out. And usually when it comes to boxing or any comeback sport, I usually don't root against black people. I usually don't do this. And yes, that's my motherfucking right. I know some trolls gonna come in here and be mad, be salty all you want. But in this situation, I have to. There's few situations where I'll root for the other race or another race. There's few situations where I do it. You know, especially if I know the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a Mexican fighters that I like. You know what I'm saying? I may root for them, but that's not gonna happen too often because usually people gonna root for whoever their nationality is. But the reason why this is an exception to the rule is because KJ, aka AJ, or whatever the ass juice or whatever the fuck you want to call this boxhead, fucked up Christopher Williams, Jerry Curl having motherfucker. He tried to stall out Deontay Wilder. And then not only that, he started listening to the slave master Eddie Hearn. Yeah, I call that bitch a slave master with your daddy with his fucked up ass comments. You know what I'm saying? LBBC channels know about those comments. But he listened to Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn don't know shit about boxing in terms of the U.S. market. One thing I can say about trifling ass, bitch ass, pussy ass Bob Arum, who's probably one of the most corrupt promoters. He make Don King look like a saint. If you compare the two, one thing I can say about Don King made the best fights. Regardless of how bad you dislike Don King, he made the best fights. Bob Arum will stall out. And he's a hoe. I'll just keep it 1,010. But one thing I can say about Bob Arum, he knows his shit. I'll give Bob Arum some credit where credit is due. He knows his shit about the market. Eddie Hearn came over here talking about we gonna take over the U.S. market and got some basically putty patrollers in the United States basically fucked this black man out of hundreds of millions of dollars. Where if he had got knocked out by Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder currently has the highest knockout percentage of any heavyweight in history, and it may continue to prosper depending on how his next few fights turns out. But you fucked this man out of hundreds of millions of dollars, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And to you UK boxing fans, oh yeah, I got to y'all last but not least, hoes. All you UK boxing fans sending all those racist ass comments. Y'all been saying how AJ, you know what I'm saying, is this and how much money he making. Where the money at? Where the $100 million at? Where look at you. Is this your king? Is this your king? Well, goddamn it, he got put on his ass. Is this your king? Yeah, goddamn it. I'm gonna talk all the shit. Oh, I forgot about somebody. Tony's review. Oh yes. The motherfucker I cuss out a nigga named Tony's review that my boxing people know about him. Beverly Rose know about the nigga I had to cuss out. The nigga that went on BTV boxing and got destroyed because he talking about how much Anthony Joshua is and all this. Oh yes. Is this your man right here, Tony Review? Is this your man right here, Tony Review? What you got to say now? What the fuck you got to say now? Now this fight this fight between Joshua and Wilder, it ain't no more. And this is what y'all boxers need to learn. Y'all need to make the best fights while y'all have the opportunity to make the best fights. And I'm an avid boxing fan. I'm probably one of the biggest boxing fans out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to make the fights. It ain't no point in waiting. Like Deontay Wilder, you know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder wanted this fight. You know what I'm saying? Al Heyman, who's the best boxing manager, best advisor. Some will call him promoter. Okay, we can deal with that. But Al Heyman now controls the heavyweight division. And I'll say to Al Heyman, make that fight between Ruiz and Deontay Wilder, because you got a Mexican guy who, Mexican boxing fans, there are some of the best boxing fans out there. Probably second to black boxing fans. You need to make that fight either in Texas, you can make it in Houston or Dallas. Don't make no difference. You can make it in Vegas. You can even make it in LA. That would sell out. You know what I'm saying? Have the new stadium at Inglewood been built yet? Officially built yet, Craig? Has the new stadium in LA / Inglewood, has they got it up yet? Up and running, or is not there yet?
As of now, I don't know.
Okay.
But we won't find out till later though.
You can make that fight up in Inglewood as well, and that will sell out. Because I think it's the same size as the old before they downsized the Rose Bowl. I think it's like around the same size. They can expand it to 100 million to where the Rose Bowl, from what I understand.
Right.
But they can make that fight there, and it will sell out. And I think that Deontay Wilder will knock Ruiz out. I mean, he's not a bad fighter. I'm glad he knocked his hoe out. But I think Deontay Wilder, all Deontay Wilder got to do is touch him one time. You know what I'm saying? So you fucked up.
It sounds like to me though, from the way you were talking about, I didn't mean to jump in. It sounded like to me though, Anthony Joshua's all talk, no show, just total garbage.
Hey, you didn't hit it in a nutshell, bro. That's all he was. He was a hype job. He was protected. He was all talk and no show. He was very well protected. He stayed over there in England.
Can't talk because he don't pick up everything.
And couldn't do shit. He couldn't do shit. And like I said, I usually don't bet against my people, but usually this is an exception because, dude, you gotta get you some humble pie. You gotta get you some humble pie. You could have got your ass knocked out by Deontay Wilder, got all your money, could have sailed in the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would have been complaining, but this dude wanted to be all talk, wanted to be a little pussy, and then you had his UK fans, aka UK fans. I'm not gonna piss on everybody from the UK because everybody from the UK ain't with that fuck shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got people out there that I highly respect, and they watch my show. But the thing is, let's keep it 1,010. You talking all this cash money shit about how much money you making? Where that money at now? Yeah, I'm not sure if this dude ain't gonna go broke in a few more years after taking this kind of L. And I'm gonna say this right now: Ruiz will beat that ass again. He will go to England and take your great papon. He would take your he would take all your shit, man. He
One
would
nigga
take
said
your
great coupon.
he would take your big news, hoe. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when you talk all that shit and can't back it up. This is what happens. So Anthony Joshua, take your fucking L. You gay fans, take your fucking L's. And Tony LePew, aka Tony's Reviews, take your motherfucking L for all that shit you've been talking about. Deontay Wilder, man. You're gonna have to take your L because Anthony Joshua, is this your king? Is this your king? Well, this is what he looked like to this day. To this day. To this day. So I'm gonna keep on clowning you hoes. And yeah, I'm gonna get back to talking about boxing pretty soon, man, outside this show, man, because we got a shitload of other topics we gotta talk about. You got anything you want to say about this hoe before I get you to the next topic, baby?
No, because I don't, I don't talk about garbage.
We don't talk about garbage to this day. To this day. So,
all right, let's roll with the next
one. Okay, NBA Finals talk. Now, there's rumors that our boy Boogie Cousins will start, and he's trying to push through this motherfucker, man. You know, it seems like the quad injury is affecting him, but we know Kevin Durant is not going to play till game 3.
So they say.
So they say. So they say. And hopefully it's not any worse than what it already is, because Boogie Cousins, if they don't, they're going to need Boogie Cousins to step it up at this point. He's going to have to pull through with something, or just plain don't play at all if he can't play, if he can't give it his all. Because to me, and I've stated this before, and I've been stating this since 2016, Golden State really never needed Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was just a plus. They just good inside score to complement all that three-point shooting they were shooting at that particular time. They never needed Kevin Durant.
No.
But it looks like at this point, in this particular instance, they're going to need him. Unless Stephen Curry can set record-setting three-point shots, make record-setting three-point shots. Unless John B. Thompson makes record-setting three-point shots, like they've been doing for the last 5 years, maybe 7, going back to Mark Jackson. You know, because they were setting records then. I can't dismiss my boy Mark Jackson like that.
All right, then I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think Draymond going to be the second dude to get a triple-double in the finals.
Yeah, I think he can, but they're going to need more scoring from Draymond Green. They don't have to get in transition against Toronto to have a chance. They need to go back to the system up and down like the Showtime Lakers. They're gonna have to do some Showtime Lakers shit because they're gonna be undersized. That's first and foremost.
Right.
But they need to get out in transition and do that Showtime Lakers / Nelly ball system to where they can just get out as soon as they get a rebound. Bam, they in transition. Because Toronto.
And let me cut you off. There's an article in the new latest Sports Illustrated about Nelly. A lot of people don't give him credit because he's the first one to come up with the point forward.
Yeah, pretty much.
When he had Ed Pickney as point forward, he was the first one to come up with the stretch big in his offense.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't give him credit.
You talking about Don Nelson?
Don Nelson, yep.
I have to slightly disagree with you because Dave Cowens was a stretch big. He might have he wasn't 7 feet. He was like 6'10", something like that. But Dave Cowens, from what I've saw, Dave Cowens, he was a stretch big. But he more so, I'll say he's probably the first guy to implement it in his offense. From a running gun standpoint, yeah, because Jack Sigma was a stretch big. Bill Laimbeer was a stretch big, but Sigma played under Don Nelson at Milwaukee. So you're so he's probably the first guy to do it in the system that he was running in, probably.
Right.
But I know Dave Campbell for a fact. That's a good argument. I'll say that. I'm not going to disagree with you entirely, but I know for a fact Dave Council was Chris Biggs. But he probably was the first known guy to implement it in his offense. So, not to take away what you're saying, because Sigma led the NBA in 3-point percentage in the 80s, and they finally got him in the Hall of Fame, which is a crime because he was a big factor in Seattle winning that championship. In terms of defensive, on the defensive side, of course, Gus Johnson and DJ, the late DJ, they won the title from the scoring standpoint, but from the defensive standpoint, he was a force to be reckoned with. And I don't think the Supersonics, which is pretty much the Supersonics, because if Seattle gets another team, they have the naming rights to him. But yeah, he was a big factor in that. Right. But yeah, Don Nelson was innovative. The problem was at that time it was still an NBA league. It was still a big man league, and he was too undersized, which is why Run TMC could never get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Those centers was too undersized, and then he got Dirk Nowitzki to run the Nelly Ball system, and they went to the conference finals a few times and shit like that. They just could never get to the finals. Yep. And you got to have unless you got damn good 3-point shooting like Golden State have shown the last 3 years, that's going to be hard. And I think this is where Golden State going to need an extra scorer or going to either need Boogie Cousins or going to either need Kevin Durant. But
they really don't need both of them.
Yeah, probably going to need both of them, but they need to run that Nelly Ball / Showtime system to beat Toronto. For Toronto gonna need to just keep doing what they're doing and get Kyle Lowry involved. He cannot afford to start playing the don't trust Kyle Lowry type basketball. We can't have you doing that. If you're gonna score less than 10 points, nigga, you're gonna need about 10, 15, 20 assists in this hole. You better bring it. You better dish out some assists, nigga. You cannot afford to have less than 10 points. Really, you should be scoring at your scoring average at this point. They need to stay with their balanced attack because anything can happen in the NBA Finals. Yes, my opinion is about Toronto, but the way they played Thursday night have been what I've been saying for years about Golden State. The same way you beat Golden State have been the same way you beat them for the last 4 years. And very few teams in the last 4 years have been able to execute against them. Had the Houston Rockets played the way Toronto did in Game 1 throughout the course of that series, they would have beat Golden State. They would have ran Golden State up off the basketball court. The problem is they could not execute that way for those 6 games, which is why Golden State ended up beating the Houston Rockets. And like I said, I still stand on my word, man. I think Golden State is going to beat these people once they wake up. But again, if Toronto wants to win, they're going to have to play the same way they played in Game 1. And mark this down. You can record this like I'm recording it right now all you want. The way they're going to win this series is the way they're going to have to play the same way they played Game 1, man. What is your take on what Toronto need to do to win, man? And do you have anything other than what I said that they could do to win this series?
Well, two things. Well, two things. They need to keep playing, like you just said, they need to keep playing the same ball. And Kyle Lowry need to stop playing that don't trust Kyle Lowry. I still don't trust Kyle Lowry in his finals. I don't. I'm just gonna keep it 100. I still don't trust him. It's a lot of people who I don't trust in the NBA, in sports and let alone in real life, and which one of the fan questions is on about that in a minute. But let's also keep in mind on another good note, I was up at Buffalo Wild Wings and they had to replay the game on NBA TV. If Nick Nurse wins the championship, he can become the first coach ever to have 2 championships, one with the D League and one with the NBA. So they say he would be the first coach to do that. But They just gonna have to, Toronto there, and I think knowing Steve Kerr, he probably in game playing against it, and knowing Nick, and I'll put it like this: I think Nick Nurse are steps ahead. Because like when they won the conference finals, that I think they wanted to speak to Ernie Johnson wanted to speak to him. They said that man was in the locker room. He had said he was already planning for Golden State ahead of time. So I give them that, but they gonna have to, Kyle Lowry gonna have to step it up, and and Marcus Gasol's gonna have to keep playing the way he's been playing. I mean, shit. Where was this Marcus Gasol at with Memphis? And this man getting the finals, he cutting up. He back to being the not being Marcus Gasol.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on all the things. I mean, because and then Golden State gonna have to step it up. I mean, because they're gonna have to have Boogie. They're gonna have some of them guys off the bench coming off kind of step up too.
Yeah.
So
and people talking about they need, Boogie to play defense. They really don't need him to play defense. They just need him to be on the floor to exercise, balance out the scoring. Because if Boogie can average the 16 points that he averaged in the regular season, or even 20, 22, what he's been averaging for his career scoring average, he can do a lot for the Golden State Warriors. Because now you can't try to double team Steph Curry. Now you got a problem. You either got to double team Boogie Cousins in the post, and then that's going to leave the Golden State Warriors wide open. So they just need him to be able to score and get some rebounds so they can run out in transition. But again, the only way Toronto is going to win this series is they're going to have to play the same way they played Game 1, minus Kyle Lowry playing don't trust Kyle Lowry ball. He cannot play like that because they lose to Golden State easily. You're going to need every bit of your points against Golden State. You're going to need all types of consistency. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on that. You got anything else you want to say before we go to the next topic?
No, hold on a sec. Yeah.
You shouldn't have put that back in the oven. It's going to dry out. Go to Marquita and see if she home. Just give a piece of foil.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Next topic is
Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah, but the next topic is Ja Morant. Now they say Ja Morant has a minor injury. I'm gonna go to the ESPN article whenever this comes up, so I'm gonna have to, so just give me a hot second.
Okay.
But they say he got a little injury similar to Ed O'Bannon, from what was said, and the person that brought me to this was my boy Michael Moultrie. Shout out to Michael Moultrie. Let me pull this up real fast. Yeah. Trying to pull this. I hope it ain't too serious. But I saw the article, and that could fuck with his draft stock. I just
I kind of, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think his draft stock is already messed up before his knee injury. I think it is.
Why you say that?
Well, he got a lot of upside to him, but everybody's failing to see his downsides because he can be inconsistent at times, and he can be inconsistent, and sometimes his jump shot, he talking about he's a point guard, but come on now.
I haven't seen him be inconsistent the whole time.
Like in several games he can. No, he's in several games he has been, but and really he's the ESPN hype monkey. I'm not calling. Well, I know. Don't get it wrong. I'm not saying I'm racist or nothing. Let me change that. Let me change my tone. He's part of the ESPN hype machine.
I don't know about that because he led the nation in scoring and led the nation in assisting. That's never happened.
Trey Young did it.
Yeah,
Trey Young did it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, but
No, I'm serious.
I mean,
Trey Young did it. He did it. And in his only year at Oklahoma, he did it. And you remember, I was going off on Trey Young on Let's Draw on Something because I got tired of all the stuff, some of the things he was doing.
But no, according to ESPN article, he is going to undergo minor arthroscopic procedure on his right knee. He is expected to full recovery in 4 weeks, and it's designed to remove a loose body in the knee, and that could be a problem there because that could be a major problem because Ed O'Bannon had a similar situation, and that pretty much ended his basketball career. He did go to I think he went to Japan and played, from what I understand, but his NBA career was definitely over with for sure. But I hope I hope this ain't nothing serious. I don't wish nothing bad on this kid because this kid, he taking a real big chance. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from a mid-major school like Murray State, he taking a real big chance going to jump into the NBA as a sophomore. But when ESPN give you that full head of steam, hey, they gon' you got to take that opportunity where what it is though. He's only 19 years old. He's a target for the Memphis Grizzlies, but I don't see the Grizzlies. I don't see the Grizzlies even picking him. They might resort to going to a RJ Barrett or somebody else, and I hope.
Well, let me put you up. Let me pump the brakes on that. RJ Barrett, little don't know if you know it or not. He publicly said he don't want the Grizzlies interviewing him. He doesn't want to come to a city like Memphis. So, but they might do it out of spite.
Yeah, and then you still got Manu Bowles' son available. They could use him as well.
Now I didn't know he came out.
Yeah, he was one and done though, but he was gonna be one and done anyway. But Manu Bowles' son, they could use that draft pick for Manu Bowles' son. So it's a few guys if they, which I don't see Zion going lower than one. But they might use that for Zion as well if some lucky circumstances happen. But I think if you're New Orleans or whoever gets that number one spot, because a lot can change, get Zion. Let's please get Zion. He has a future, a full future ahead of him. I say get Zion, but anything can happen in this draft as well. But shout out to Zion. Ja Morant, and I hope everything goes okay with him. I hope everything goes just fine.
And I'm hoping he doesn't take that surgery, man, that basically halted Amari Stoudemire and Penny's career. That microfracture surgery, because they said that's one of the worst surgeries you can get. That little quick fix and everything, but they said it'll cause long-term problems though. So I hope he doesn't get that. So we don't. I mean, I don't want to see nobody's career end too soon because they thinking about the money and all this other little stuff. But just hope it's not serious, whatever it is. If it's a minor surgery, it's a minor surgery. So.
Yeah, I mean, the second pick. Damn, what the fuck? Yeah, but I really hope this kid turns out okay, man. And he's from the same area. He's from the same area as Ray Allen is from, by the way. So yeah, I mean,
okay.
Yeah, he's from that same area, that little area. So the second pick will be made by. Get out of here. Hate these damn advertisements. So. It is what it is.
What it is.
The next topic, Serena Williams took an L, man, yesterday, and that's the earliest she's been out of a tournament. I think they said in 3 years.
Wow.
Man, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Especially. But one thing I noticed about the clay court is that clay court can be hard to play on. You know what I'm saying? That's probably one of her least greatest places to play on is that damn clay court, man. And she lost in straight sets. She got her ass dealt with, man. I think the only ass whooping I saw worse than that was probably the Miami Osaka ass whooping that she took last year, man. But damn, shit. You know, do you think it's almost her time to retire, even though she's like one more Grand Slam away from tying Margaret Smith court? You think it's gonna be is almost is about time for her to quit?
Yeah. I mean, she ain't made her money. I mean, what else she has to prove?
Yeah, because I think the only thing she got to prove, I think the only thing she's trying to do is get that Margaret Smith court money. I mean, Margaret Smith court record, or at least tie it. But the way these young girls is playing, especially these young sister girls is playing, like Sloane Stevens and our girl Naomi Osaka, the way they're playing, it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
hard to it's gonna be hard to it's gonna be hard to beat those girls. Finna I ain't even finna front, man. I mean, she finna have a problem because Sloane Stevens is getting better, and I can't I can't think of the other girl. Hold on, she got upset. Was it today? Okay, Osaka got knocked out. Okay, so you still got Sloane Stevens and Madison Keys. That's the half white girl I was saying about. Yeah, so still, even with Osaka losing losing in the French Open, that's gonna be, when she plays in Wimbledon in U.S. Open, where Osaka is good on turf and on grass court, just like Serena. But that clay court is hard to play on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wish them hoes would just get rid of that bitch, man. Shit, get rid of that goddamn bullshit, man. I be hating that clay court because it's hard to get a good grip on your foot when you play on that bitch. And then if you're going up against a lefty-handed hitter, which is already hard to play a lefty anyway. But damn, that's a downside to that hoe. You know what I'm saying? If you ever play somebody left-handed, but still you got Madison Keys still in the mix, and you got Sloane Stevens in the mix, man. But I think um, they could possibly still do it because of that clay. I mean, because of their talents, man. But and speaking of Naomi Osaka, her tennis coach, she swapped the white guy out for the black dude, and he was an NCAA champion, and she won the Australian Open. So that
Mm-hmm.
Osaka girl, and she's getting better. She's only like 21 years old, so she's getting better. That's the crazy thing. She's in her prime, so that girl could fuck around and break all of Serena's and Margaret Smith course records. Because you got to take into account Margaret Smith court
Yeah.
did set those records over a 7 to 10 year period. Serena got all her Grand Slams spread it out over damn near 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So there's a major difference because when Margaret Smith Court got out of her prime, she was out of her prime. You know what I'm saying? That's just for the people that don't know their tennis, man. She did that over a 10-year span. At least I'll say probably like out of the 23 she won, she probably won at least 19 during that 10-year span, man. Because she won the Grand Slam of tennis twice in her day. And
Mm-hmm.
she just like dominated that whole era. So we gonna see with Serena because I think if she don't get it this year or at least tie her this year, she probably needs to give it up at this point because as a tennis player, you do slow down. Now the advantage she's been having all these years is she had a good ace game, and her ace and her serves is probably some of the fastest out there. That's what's really been helping her out. But when you go up against people that are as athletically gifted as you are, especially with those sisters coming along, you're not gonna be able to knock them aces out like you do against those white girls. Because those white girls, a lot of times they can't fuck with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it, it's one of them things to where she gonna have a hard time. Because if Osaka don't get her, she gonna have problems with Sloane Stevens. And with Sloane Stevens, her dad was a former NFL player. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but she get a lot of her athleticism from her late father. Rest in peace to that brother. And then Madison Keys, she's quick as hell. So you going up against people, a tethered version of yourself. You're not gonna, you're not gonna, you're not gonna, you're not gonna knock them aces out like you used to, man. So she gonna have to, she gonna have to go on and get it tied up or break the record. Or I think after this year, she's gonna get put out again early. What is your thoughts on that, Hope?
I still just think, hey, Serena needs to just go here and retire in advance. She's just kind of been quiet as late. I think she's quietly retired, but I mean, if it's something that's Serena trying to prove, I mean, she's proved enough. I mean, just hey, just sit down and enjoy life. Enjoy your husband, enjoy your baby girl. And that's it.
Yeah, which is I'm very suspicious of her husband, but that's another topic in itself. But I'm like, yeah,
he does look kind of smarmy, bro. I equate he's got a little smarmy look to him, and then like I used to follow her on Instagram. True story. Used to follow her on Instagram, and I think. I'm not too sure if it's true or not. I think her husband monitors her page or some shit. And I ever responded to something, and it wasn't negative because Serena had asked a general question about something and she had wanted everyone's opinion, whether you was male or female. So I gave the best opinion, and she responded. The next thing I know, I'm blocked. But it is said though that from what I heard that her husband, if it's not true, sometimes you can't take it with a grain of salt, or sometimes you can't take it with a grain of salt. That her husband kind of monitors her Instagram page. So I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't follow her anymore. So
yeah. And he has white supremacist ties, from what I understand, because Reddit does have a lot of white supremacists. He is the owner of Reddit, and Reddit be having a lot of white supremacists that go into nigger.
I already know.
So that's why I'm so suspicious of him. That's why I'm very suspicious of that hoe. So, but hopefully she gets to either tie it or break it. But I don't know at this point, because the girls that's coming along now that she inspired, younger generation of black tennis players, especially black female tennis players, and Venus just need to just retire. She just need to sit on her ass, become a tennis coach, because there is definitely money in becoming a tennis coach and stuff like that. Because I think you get like 5 or 10% of the gross prize, some shit like that. I think it's to that effect, but. She probably just need to become a tennis coach, because I think she would definitely make a good tennis coach, because a lot of tennis players, they end up becoming tennis coaches for other tennis players, and they still make good money in there. So she just probably need to go on and retire. And then I will say this as well: had injuries not killed Venus and Serena, because let's be clear, had both of them not be injured, Serena would have been broke Marcus Smith court record easily.
Yeah,
she would have shattered that hoe, because when she creeped up towards 30, that's when those injuries had started happening. It happened for both Serena and Venus, which leads me to believe it would have been just them every year winning those tournaments. So because they went through a 2 or 3 year period to where they would just hurt. You know what I'm saying? They were playing Wimbledon or the French Open 1 minute, and they just got hurt. So, please note that they had injuries that slowed them down from making better progress than what they did. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully she gets it, man. Hopefully she do her thing, man. So, it is what it is. So, we got viewer questions, man. What is some of the viewer questions we have, man?
Man, we got a whole lot of Ask Craig and Jimmy questions. This first one coming from Val. She didn't give a state. She said, "Hello, gentlemen. Real quick, looking at the evolution of how football offenses has changed. What I want to know is what would have happened if you had to put a prime Michael Vick in these offenses today? Would he have had multiple Super Bowls? Would he have had? Would he have been MVPs? Would he have had multiple MVPs? What are your thoughts?"
Yes, and let's please take in consideration when Pink Smith Kelly, aka Chip Kelly, became the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
I call him Shit Kelly.
Yeah, but let's not get it twisted. Chip Kelly has probably, arguably, one of the best offenses out there. The problem is, the problem was Michael Vick got hurt. Had Michael Vick not gotten hurt, he probably wouldn't have got the pink slip as fast as he did. Because even though Nick Foles thrived under that offense when he had that 29-3 season,
27-2.
27-2, whatever. Nick Foles, that offense wasn't meant for Nick Foles. It just so happened he flourished under it, and he had the athletes to catch the ball to do his thing in that offense. But Chip Kelly's offense is meant for a mobile quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That's what the offense is meant for. And as you've seen through college, when he was at Oregon, those offenses were setting records and shit like that.
And he had damn good quarterback too, because his shit every game his quarterbacks were throwing over 300 and 400 yards. So
300 and 400 yards and running for 100, and then the running back, was running for about 100 and stuff like that. So, and they would run the scoreboard. They came to Tennessee and whooped Tennessee twice. They scored the most points at Neyland Stadium outside of Alabama, and then they went to Oregon or Eugene and got destroyed again. So, I feel some type of salty about that shit. Yes, I feel salty about that. Fuck Pink Slip Kelly. But on the up and up, the reason why Chip Kelly is not in the NFL right now is simply because Michael Vick got hurt. Had Michael Vick not gotten hurt, he would have kept his job for years to come, because then he would have had a foundation to use that offense in. And he tried to go to the 49ers and use that offense. Number one, he didn't have the personnel he had in Philadelphia. And number two, Kaepernick was under a lot of pressure, so he couldn't perform the way he did. Even though Kaepernick put up good numbers in his last season in the NFL, he didn't have no good wide receivers around him to thrive the way he did. So, yes, Michael Vick would, especially with these read option systems, he would have flourished in that. My only quarrel with Michael Vick is it took him to get knocked off by the Baltimore Ravens to, have him learn how to slide. And if he had took more like a Russell Wilson approach, which Russell Wilson avoids a lot of hits. He avoids a lot of hits in the system that he's in, but he's a more intelligent quarterback than Michael Vick is. That's what I'll give to Russell Wilson. So, yeah, Michael Vick would have thrived, but he would have had to learn how to slide a lot sooner and use his mobility to his advantage. You know what I'm saying? So, what is your take on that, Brother Craig?
I mean, I agree. But it made it, and anytime I look back on the old Michael Vick interview he did, I mean, like I said about when I settled a beef with an old coworker, you respect a man more when he admits his own faults. And he said his fault was he didn't want that. He wasn't trying. When he was with Atlanta under the Jim Moore offense, he was lazy as shit, and he just had that run. He was just programmed to have that run first mentality. But a lot of people. But he said, but then when he started playing with Andy Reid, Andy Reid just came out and told him. He said, that shit you did in Atlanta, we don't do that here. And Vic didn't take no offense to that. He already knew what was up, and then shit. And Michael Vick was throwing that thing, man. I mean, he became a damn good pocket passer. If you don't believe me, see the 2010 Monday Night Football game that's on YouTube. Philadelphia against Washington, when he had 245 yards in the first half on 80% on 83% pass completions in the first fucking half, and he had 5 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns in the first half, damn near. If I'm correct, he had 6 total, and they took that man out of the game. And I mean, because that's when he had Deshaun. This is long before. I think no, because Kelly wasn't. Yeah, because Andy Reid was gone at this point. He was gone. He was gone the season. I think the season after or something like that.
Yeah.
Before Chip Kelly came, and you know, I do agree. I mean, here, Michael. I say by give or take, Michael Vick could have had at least 3 Super Bowls on this wing already.
Yeah.
He could have, and you know, and like he said, he admitted his fault. You know, he said he was lazy as shit and didn't, you know, and basically in his own, you know, so many words, he you know, he didn't believe his shit was thinking, because he said like time he was getting criticized in Atlanta about they was sick and tired of him running and stuff like that. They wanted him to throw and all that, you know, and you know you had to fault Jim Moore Jr. on that shit. Hell, even Jim Moore Sr. he was told him, he said, look, I'm not telling you how to run your teams, but you got something special with Mike Vick. You need to stop running them on every down.
Yeah.
You know, but hell yeah. I mean, with the RPO and all the other offenses and stuff like that, when Andy Reid started revolutionizing, putting the college offense back in the NFL plus some, fuck yeah, man, Vick would have. Hell yeah, Val Vick would have had about at least 3 or 4 Super Bowls under his belt and about 2 MVPs. So, yeah, it is what.
I agree on that one. And you know, had he not gotten that them dogfight charges as well, that's another thing that slowed his career down. Even though he was still in physical shape, you know what I'm saying, them dogfighting charges got him. And let me address you motherfucking dogfighting motherfuckers who basically destroyed this guy's career. Fuck all you bitches for that bullshit.
Because, you really did.
Because you motherfuckers will sit up here and watch a black person get killed, but you care more about a motherfucking owl. You care more about a motherfucking animal than you do a black person. Fuck all you hoes. And I said it then, and I'm going to say it again. Fuck all you hoes. Until you motherfuckers you know, do something about the racial problems that goes on in this fucking country. Don't give me that shit about you a dog, that you an animal rights activist, because I'm gonna assume you animal rights activists, dog fucking bitches is racist. I'm gonna assume that, goddammit. So that's my get down with that. But outside of that, man, I totally agree with you on that, brother. What's the next question, brother?
All right, one comes from a guy by the name of CD, and he's from Florida. He said, hello, Jimmy. Hello, Craig. Said, my question is for Craig on this one. Okay. He said, I recently went back and listened to a Let's Draw on Something episodes on Craig's page. And he was talking about his time at UPS, and he mentioned about this guy by the name of Allen. Keep in mind, Craig probably might not remember me, but I used to work at UPS back in Memphis, and then I later relocated to Florida, to Fort Myers, Florida, to get away from the shit known as Memphis. My question to you, Craig, is you never fully explained what was Allen's hangup with you at the time at UPS. Would you care to explain? And if so, have you ran into him lately? Yeah. Well, I can't explain. I'm not going to explain, CD, but I'll give you the reason. Guy by the name of Alan Crosby, and this dude is a redhead. He could easily pass. You know, he could easily pass to be Mark McGuire's twin.
I think I know.
No, it's not. You know, that's not funny. But I mean, he can easily pass to be. He can easily pass to be Mark McGuire's twin.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. Because I think I've seen him in passing a few times. Because I knew a guy that looked like that motherfucker. But please continue, sir.
Yeah. So anyway, but he could pass easily for Mark McGuire because he got the red hair. He probably don't have it now. But I never knew what his hang up was with me, man. And it was just like, and I'll just put it like this. And even though this was like some 20 years ago, first and foremost with me, if you got a problem with me because if a person has a problem with me because they just don't like me, you just don't like yourself. Okay. What Jimmy looked like saying, man, I don't like that nigga. Why? Because I don't. That's not saying nothing. But Alan's issues with me was, I don't know. I mean, hey, normally like he'll speak with everybody, and then and then sometimes and sometimes I would go out of my way, show him kindness by speaking like, hey, what's up, Alan? Then he'll just shake his head. And it's just like, okay, but then he'll speak like to everybody else and shit. I mean, so if whatever his hang up was with me, I really don't fucking know. But to me, it was. But here's what I think it was. What it was. It was just something fucking petty. I didn't do shit to this man or nothing. I didn't. I think maybe the only thing that I did probably do wrong. This man was just like him. Just you come in, work 4 or 5 hours. That's it, and then you go home. I mean, I'm not saying he was racist, but he got along with everybody. But I didn't, I really know what his problem. Didn't really know what his fucking problem was with me. But to each his own. And like I said, if he's out there, he probably listening. Shout out to my guy Ricky Lauderdale because that's that because he was close to him. I mean, hey, if he listening, all I can do is throw this little shot in at him. Hey, Alan, if you listen to this or whatnot, I hope you grown up some, bro. So, because I ain't did shit to you. I ain't never did shit to you. But he told a friend of mine what his issue was with me. And it was just the fact that he didn't like the way I carried myself as a person. And then I think it was one time he knocked about my living situation, like talking about, I don't ever understand like what a 21-year-old grown man is doing still living with his parents. I'm like, okay, your point?
He didn't like the way you carried this. It sounded like this motherfucker was racist. I'm gonna just be honest.
He didn't like the way I carried myself.
I'm gonna be honest with you on that one.
I mean, but then when you think about it is racist.
When white people say that shit, what they really mean is I don't like uppity niggas. That's the translation I would get out of that situation.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing uppity about me. I'm only a square. I ain't a square dude. I'm just a straight up dude, man. I don't fuck around with nobody. I mean, I ain't about that life. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't about that life back then, and I'm not about that life now. I'm about my own life. Getting up, going to work in the morning, and doing what I do. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, you also got some of our own black people that'll say some shit like that. So and that was the reason. So when I found out about this shit, I said, okay, so that's his reason. And I just said, well, fuck it. So and then I ain't gonna cut you off. And the reason why he quit, he had quit. Now listen to this. He had quit a union-based job like UPS to go work for Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
That's his fucking problem. Unless he gonna be the manager up in that bitch.
That's what I'm saying. I just said, man, unless he going somewhere with a comma in the right place, I can understand that shit. But
yeah,
and then I recall like 20 some years ago, it was these two fraternity dudes, and they would call them my boy, shout out to Courtney Stays, he would call them the twins. But they were more like Kappa brothers, and they hung around so much each other. This is what I was thinking to myself, and I just didn't come out right and say it. I'm like, damn, they more around they around each other more than they are with a woman. You know, because it made me wonder. You know, it made me wonder if they were if they played for the same team or not. So, you know, but it is what it is. All right, Jimmy. Next question. This comes from Nittany Line 1032, and the subject is James Franklin. Say hello, Jimmy. Hello, Craig. I am an avid Penn State fan, and I must say I was very disappointed with James Franklin's coaching performance in the bowl game against Kentucky early this year. Despite the fact that James Franklin has top 3 to top 5, let alone top 10 recruiting classes every year, it seems that James Franklin can never get it done when it counts, especially in games, especially against games against Ohio State, Michigan, and other games. In your opinion, do you guys honestly think that this is a make or break year for him? If not,
No.
wait, I'm not finished. Said, if not, what seems to be his problem? Does he not game plan better against teams of his calibers like the Michigan States, the Michigans, and Ohio States? What say you?
I say no. This is not a make or break year, man. Unless Penn State is on some shit to where, you know, unless Penn State is on some shit to where they like, well, because he a black guy, you know what I'm saying? Then they want to get rid of him. That'd be the only way that's like a make or break year, because he's been consistent. He's won every year that he's came through that motherfucker. So you give guys a little bit more rope, and then he's won one conference championship, if I'm not mistaken, out there. So nah, you don't get rid of guys that's showing the potential to turn your program around or possibly win you a championship. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Penn State fans, if you let James Franklin go, I'm gonna tell you hoes something right now. And I know how state the place that Penn State is at. I know how they get down over there.
Mm-hmm.
If you let James Franklin go, he gonna fuck around and win a national championship somewhere else if you let that hoe go. I'm gonna just keep it 1,010 because he knows football. Keep that dude around as long as you possibly can. As long as y'all atop the Big Ten. Yeah, I know Ohio State. I know Ohio State can give you problems, but they recruit just as good as Penn State do. Same with Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually that's the problem you have. It's usually a Michigan. Every once in a while, Michigan State will give Penn State's a problem. Every once in a while, but they're nowhere near as talented as Penn State is. So I'm saying this. You need to keep that motherfucker because he gonna fuck around if he gets the right personnel and have the ability to recruit the same way he does at Penn State. You know what I'm saying? He gonna fuck around and win because when let's say he go back to the South and go to one of these schools in the South again and at the same talent level he has at Penn State, he has a good chance of winning because it's hard to bring somebody from the South, which is what he's been doing. It's hard to bring somebody from the South to the North because most of your best football talent is in the South, in the West. Maryland has good football talent as well. I can't shit on them. Virginia has great football talent. I can't piss on them either. So he's been able to go in states like that and get talent. But he could easily do something at Penn State. So I say keep him. Keep him. I'm warning y'all asses right now because I know how football fans can be when they're not getting what they want. Stay patient. Stay patient with the brother. Stay patient with that brother because he got something good going over there. Stay patient with that brother.
I agree.
What is your thought?
I agree because Vanderbilt stayed patient with him, and look what happened. 3 years he was with him, he got him 3 bowl games.
And beat Tennessee 2 of those
and
years.
And he beat Tennessee twice, and then he beat Georgia. And he guaranteed that they were going to beat Georgia. And I think that was his. I don't know if that was his final season. No, that was his second season. He said, "We going to Athens and make a statement." He went. They went. Vanderbilt went to Athens, Georgia, where Mark Richt was, and whooped their ass. He wasn't playing, and he whooped their ass.
Oh yeah, man.
And Mark Rick act like he didn't want to take that L, bro. I mean, hey, you got it. Hey, you going to eat some humble pie sooner or later.
And then the crazy thing about Franklin, he was able to recruit at Vanderbilt better than most coaches. Because that's a hard place to recruit in. For him to recruit as heavily as he did at Vanderbilt, he did some shit, got of Memphis as well. And usually the top players are usually going to Tennessee or Kentucky or some of the border teams. Sometimes Alabama gets some of the top guys. So he was recruiting his ass off in fucking Vanderbilt. And that's fucking unheard of in football. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, you can easily come up on a number one recruiting class. All you got to do is just go to a private institution and get some good players from Oak Hill or some good private school out in Vegas or some fucking where. But he was getting guys left and right, man, out there. So, man,
yeah. Hey, and speaking of Vanderbilt, Skip Bayless gave some props for them getting Jared Stackhouse. And he even said, Vanderbilt is one of those schools that's hard to recruit. He's like, he said on Undisputed, he said when we had James Franklin for them 3 best years, he recruited his butt. He said he recruited. And he said, now we got Jared Stackhouse. He said, so y'all better watch out, man. He said, Vanderbilt basketball will be coming back.
Yeah. And like I say, Vanderbilt has always been one of those sneaky SEC teams that surprise motherfuckers in basketball because they always kept stretch big, especially when they had Van Bredikoff and a couple of other guys that was over at Vanderbilt. It goes further than Van Bredikoff. And they always kept them stretch bigs. That's what they known for. They could, they're gonna keep them a good white boy that can shoot that motherfucker.
Hell, I remember that year Eddie Fogler when he was coaching Vanderbilt. We had Billy McCaffrey. Man, he said I wish I had. He said because he said he already knew the following year that Vanderbilt team wasn't gonna be shit because NCAA had some more fuck rules. Because by right, McCaffrey is supposed to be coming back for that 93-94 season. But with them damn fucked up ass NCAA transfer laws, the 92-93 season was actually his last year. But man, he was killing. I remember he was killing who was they playing? I remember he was killing Michigan. No, not Michigan, Temple. He was killing Temple's ass, man. Shit. So, but yeah, Vanderbilt, man, but hell yeah, Penn State just need to be 2 words. Just be calm, be patient. But the one thing, but I am gonna say one thing though about what I really think was wrong with them in them big games though. Frankie can be a little bit too conservative on a lot of shit. And then with that loss against Kentucky, he just didn't take advantage of a lot of shit that Kentucky had. Like, I was disappointed that the defense didn't go after the quarterback. And their quarterback was just bad. Their quarterback's just fucking terrible. I mean, Kentucky had the 4th best rushing offense in the SEC, but they were like dead last in the conference in passing offense. They should have, I think, and I said it on here, that was the defensive coordinator's fault because he should have went after and attacked that quarterback. Yeah. Make him pass the ball instead of just doing runoffs. And fuck Stoops for wanting to talk about he wanted to change everything what Kentucky football was said, because what you saw with them in the past, he said it ain't gonna be none of that no more. He said we're gonna be a running team. I'm like, they're predicated on the Mike Leach air raid, man. Shit, on that run and gun. You can't change no shit like that, Yeah,
because even the years when Kentucky couldn't afford a win against Tennessee, they passing offense back in the day gave Tennessee problems. They gave LSU problems. They gave everybody some top teams, including Florida. You know, even though I still don't think Florida has beaten them yet in a while, but Florida
No.
lost. But still, they give teams problems with their passing offense. That's been one of the things that Kentucky has been known for doing, is giving teams problems with their passing game, which is why you had Tim Couch end up number one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And now he out
You
the
know,
league.
yeah, which is why you had Jared Lorenzen do his thing. You know, even though he was oversized for a quarterback, he was putting up some damn good numbers for a
Yep.
big, heavy
And,
motherfucker.
and his ass could run.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big motherfucker could run, dog.
He was trucking niggas, man. Trucking motherfuckers.
Yep.
Well, trucking
All right.
motherfuckers.
All right, we got another football question. Said, and this question comes from quarterback Magic Mike. That's a nice name. That's a nice Twitter handle for a name too, if he can use it. And the subject is, today's QBs have disrespected the game. Say, hello, gentlemen. Said, I would like either one of your honest takes on this subject. Said, and I'm just curious to hear it. Said, lately in the past couple seasons, we get all these little hot dog quarterbacks that ESPN likes to stay hyping up. Gone were the days, and I still think, in my opinion, that the best quarterback class to ever hit the NFL is the 2012 quarterback class that had Russell Wilson, RG3, Brandon Whedon, Andy Dalton. Well, this wasn't 2012, but he recited all through the years from 2010 to 12. Guys like Andy Dalton, RG3, Kurt Cousins. He didn't say Kurt, K-U-R-T, Kurt Cousins, and a few others. He said, now we get all these quarterbacks that's just predicated on guys not knowing how to run. And you have schmucks like Kirk Herbstreit, who only had several cups of coffee in the NFL, has the nerve to talk about guys developing accuracy and this and that. And also you have people like Todd Luganbill, who went from being a quarterback in Georgia Tech to now being a recruiting analyst and a terrible analyst about quarterback play. I also heard Jimmy on a couple shows refer to Jalen Hurts as Jalen Butt Hurts. Now he's at Oklahoma. I think I should call him Jalen will make my ass hurt being under center in the Oklahoma offense that's predicated on quarterbacks throwing the ball. Do you guys think that today's quarterbacks are lazy? Is it them, or is it the coach, or is it the quarterback coaches that's coaching these guys? A part of me thinks that they have good quarterback coaches, but it's just a fucking quarterback that's either just too stupid or just too lazy to follow instructions. What say you?
I think, and again, I've been saying this for many years. I think a lot of the factors is offensive coordinators. Offensive coordinators play a factor in quarterbacks being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't give a quarterback some freedom, especially when they've earned it, every starting quarterback, in my personal opinion, need to know how to audible their way out of a situation. You know, this goes for everybody. Every quarterback need to learn how to make quick reads when they need it, and need to make informed decisions when they need to. That's the reason why that's one of the reasons why I like mobile quarterbacks better than pocket passers. Because when you're a pocket passer, you're very limited. Whereas a mobile quarterback, even if he don't run per se, like most people say all black quarterbacks or mobile quarterbacks do, you can get your way out of a situation. Like Russell Wilson is my best example, is my dream quarterback in terms of mobility. Because he uses mobility not only to run, but to throw on the run. But even if you're just a pocket passer or a traditional pro style quarterback, whatever the hell you want to call it, guys need to learn how to make hot reads, need to learn how to make quick reads. They need to learn how to, change the play when they're uncomfortable with a situation. If your quarterback from college to high school, whatever. If your quarterback cannot do those things, you are a fucking failure at offensive coordinator. You are a fucking failure as a quarterback coach. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest issues. That's a lost art. What made Bart Starr the legend that he is, like I said, is he knew how to change his being. He knew how to change his plays when he needed to do it most. Otto Graham had a rocket arm. Bart Starr had a rocket brain. He used his brain
Yep.
more than Otto Graham did. Even though you can argue him being the greatest of all time, along with Tom Brady or Joe Montana, which I feel, you know how I feel about Tom Brady. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to go into it, but there needs to be a focus point of intellect with quarterbacks. You get a lot of you hoes, and I'm saying hoes loosely, and I'm speaking of offensive coordinators. Y'all need to stop handicapping these quarterbacks, man. This goes for every guys out here, man. Yes, you got some quarterbacks that don't want to learn shit. I get that. I get that. There are certain guys out there, but don't use that as an excuse don't use that as an excuse to dumb them down. That's my thing right there. So yeah, that's one of the lost arts. If you can audible your way out of a situation, you can. That's where good decision making comes in. So that's my take on it, man. Go ahead, brother, and take over.
I think it's more that and also the opposite way around. You can have a good ass quarterback and a good offensive coordinator that will give that quarterback the key to the reins to audible. Like, okay, like Lincoln Riley. Even though he's the coach, he doesn't have offense coordinator. He calls the plays. Okay. And he gave Kyler Murray the freedom to do that. And Kyler Murray is an exception to the rule because Lincoln Riley lets him audible. Now, and what I'm saying, he got his work cut out for him with Jalen Hurts because we all know what Jalen Hurts like to do. Three people be wide open. He looking dead at him. Then he gonna start taking off running. You know, there was and I forgot who this was. There were a couple NFL quarterbacks had gotten offensive coordinators fired
Mm-hmm.
because they would do fuck shit on purpose. They would do fuck shit on purpose. I think some college kids would do some fuck shit on purpose. I think, and I'll be honest with you, when Tua got that start in that game against Georgia, when he replaced Jalen Hurts, I think Jalen was doing some fuck shit on purpose. And Nick Saban, in his own ways, he was saying he was saying I just got tired of seeing what I was seeing. The plays were being called, and people, the right was on the wall for Jalen Hurts right then and there, man. I mean, but it's more like I said, it's tit for tat on my end because you got some of these quarterbacks right now that can't fucking read the cover three defense. They don't know when the blitz is coming. Hell, Jimmy, we football fans. We know when the damn blitz get ready to come. We know when that line is shifted. We know who finna fucking blitz somebody. And if the quarterback is not competent enough, I'm not gonna say say the word stupid. If he's not competent enough to see that coming, he doesn't need the quarterback anymore. He don't need to play football. He need to have something to fall back on. So it's more of a double-edged sword with that one. Coordinators, you got some fuck coordinators that handicap quarterbacks, whereas you have some quarterbacks that are basically tell the coordinator, man, fuck you. I'm finna play my way. All I care about is me.
Mm-hmm.
You got some more selfish ass fucking quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
So, like you said, hey, the lost art of audible and the lost art of true play calling is fucking dead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like look at guys like with coaches like Sid Gilman's. Let's see. Look at guys like with the Tom Landry's and the stuff like that. I mean, Tom Landry even though it was his offense, because like it was known, Tom Landry came up with every offensive and defensive game plan there was. He gave Roger Staubach the keys to the offense. with audibles. And in a way, when Roger Staubach said that a lot of the shit, he said something can be so simplified. Landry made this shit complicated. So Staubach just made a suggestion to him, just told him, man, he said, well, because he explained how it was on the Tom Landry Football Life. He told him, and he said he hated he had to do it, but Landry said, you know what? You're right. So he simplified that shit, made it easier for all them guys to understand what the routes was, who to pay attention to on defense, and everything else. Al Davis was the same way. Al Davis was a hell of a coach because he used Sid Gilman's playbook and concepts for the vertical game. Don Coryell, Paul Brown, Don Shula. Even though I don't care too much for his even though I don't care too much for his son when he was Mike Shula as a coach, let alone coordinator. And last but not least, Bill Walsh. I mean, them dudes right there, man, they simplified the audible and the play call.
Yeah. And Shula was a run first head coach
until he got Marino.
And even Greasy was a pretty good quarterback, but it was run to set up the pass. You know what I'm saying? Greasy knew when to take over, when to throw that motherfucker downfield when he needed to. But Marino, he changed his entire playbook. He got with the times with Marino.
Yeah, he did. Well, Shula said he had to. When he got Dan Marino, he said he had to. So he had said at the time when he came from University of Pitt, because Marino came from University of Pittsburgh, said Shula hollered something. Shula hollered at some of the guys at and hollered at one of the offensive coordinator at the time about how did that work with the pro style offense, and then he hollered at the dude that the Jets drafted, Ken O'Brien, because they ran a pro style, a pass first run, using the pass to set up a run first type style pro style offense. He said when Pitt's coordinator at the time looked at his playbook, he said, Coach Shula, he said, 70% of your playbook, he said, all your good plays are in the back of your playbook. So he said, so switch it around. And he said it shit worked. Shula got, that was one thing you couldn't get, credit. You had to give Don Shula credit too. Hey, he was ahead of the curve.
And he had a decent running game his first year he got in the NFL. The first 2 years he had a decent running game, but that died out. That died out on him, man. Because people always say that Marino never had a running game. His first 3 years they did have a good running game because they led the league in offense. The first year the first 2 years he was playing, and they was top 5 in the third year he was playing. But they just could never get over the hump. And New England had a damn good game plan. They ran a ball control offense to beat them in that AFC Championship, which would have had them go to their second straight Super Bowl, and it was a strong possibility that Miami Dolphin team would have probably beat
was supposed to be playing the Bears again.
Yeah, they would have probably beat them again. You know what I'm saying? They probably would have. I'm saying probably, not it would have happened. I said they would have probably beat them. But they were, like I say, man, Don Shula got with the times, man, and it was just unfortunate Dan, didn't get an opportunity to win a championship with Don Shula, because really that was the best coach he had. Because Jimmy Johnson came in, took his audible ability duties away. They had a better running game with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which he had to change his name because of legal reasons. Because it was too close to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that is. But but with Johnson, he took his audible away from him. And
let me put some pause right there, right quick, before you get on with Jimmy Johnson. Don Shula also had formulated the best game plan to counteract that 46. When he forced the Bears 46 defense to spread out, he was right, because he said it was gonna open up a whole lot of passing lanes, and hey, it worked, and it worked. And then the following year, and peep this out, the following year, it would have been the Bears against the Giants in that NFC Championship game, but the Washington Redskins came to Chicago after Chicago had a 10-0 lead. Mark Ripken and the Redskins beat the shit out their ass. And then the following week, the Giants whooped the shit out of Washington. But go ahead. But the thing about with Jimmy Johnson, yeah, you were right. I'm gonna let you continue. Yeah, he did. That was one thing Marino said on Football Life. He said the difference with Coach Shula and Coach Jimmy Johnson was Shula gave me free reign of the playbook. And if it was something I didn't like in the audible, he'll tell me what is it. And then he said Shula was on the fly guy. And he always had a good defense. Said Jimmy Johnson took them duties away from him, and then he brought that little 4-3 over that cover 4 schematic he had. He said, yeah, it was good. He said, but he felt Jimmy Johnson handicapped him.
He did.
He said he handicapped the hell out of me. And he said he got mad as hell when I made an audible. He said, because it was a game where they were blitzing. So he called an audible. He said he saw the blitz. He saw the blitz. So he called an audible, made the offense spread out. And Marino threw the ball. It was a touchdown. Jimmy Johnson got mad his motherfucking ass. Told him, man, you supposed to run the play like what? He said they were reading. He said, hey, they were going blitz. You wanted me to take the sack?
And the thing was with Marino got sacked more under Jimmy Johnson than he ever did.
Than he did with Don Shula.
Because he took very seldom sacks because he had the ability to get that quick. He had that quick release out, which ultimately that quick release would end up, as during his retirement, as he retired, he set the record for pick 6 until Brett Favre broke that motherfucker. Manning got real close to breaking that hole because he had that same problem. Because the downside to the quick release is if a corner especially with a corner, but if a DB or a linebacker jump that route, it's going to the highs. You know what I'm saying? As we say in Houston, going to the highs, as we say out here. So that was the downside. But Jimmy Johnson, what made it a downside with Dan Marino is Dan Marino was not a system quarterback, whereas Troy Aikman was a system quarterback. Let's just keep this 1,000 and shame the devil and talk our shit all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Till this day. But Troy Aikman's stats was not that fucking impressive. Believe it or not, Tony Romo, aka Tony Ono, I did it again. Yeah, I'm pissing on you Cowboy fans. Tony, oh no, he did it again. Shout out to my homie at FedEx who gave me that idea. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's still alive, but I remember he said, Tony, oh no, he did it again. But did you know Tony Romo has more touchdowns in Cowboy history than anybody? Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that. You want to know why? Because Jason Garrett ran the fucking ran the Steve Spurrier type of offense this shit. That's how Darius was getting all the back-to-back 1,500-yard receiving seasons. And then when he fucked around and got Dak Prescott, the offense went to shit. And I still say to this day, Dak need to work on his fucking accuracy. He need to stop being fucking stubborn. You don't get paid to be stubborn, and you don't get paid to be a fool. You get paid to play ball. You get paid to play opposition. Work on your fucking accuracy. And that's bad. Jason Garrett even telling this man to work on his motherfucking accuracy, man. And they really shouldn't have changed the offense because I'm not a Cowboy fan either. But I think the Cowboys' best offense they had was when Jason Garrett was calling the plays, Romo was under center, and then when Jason Garrett became the coach. Romo had some damn good 4,000-yard seasons on that offense. But then the minute they got fucking Dak Prescott, Garrett changed the whole fucking damn offense, and Scott Linehan was calling some old fuck shit. I'm not a Cowboy fan myself, but I gotta agree. I gotta call it for what it is. I gotta agree with Cowboy fans in this shit too. Jason Garrett should have just left the fucking offense alone.
Yeah, and
Period.
Dak need to Dak need to be a better decision maker because that's his problem. Because when he need to run, the nigga stay in the pocket and get sacked for a fumble because he doing similar shit to Tony Romo. And when he need to stay in the pocket, he makes terrible decisions. That's his major issue. And Dak need to stop eating so goddamn much. Dak need to stay at 230 between 220 and 230. That's what he need to stay in so he can use his mobility to his advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Now
Because now,
Zeke eats a lot, but shit, he still produce numbers. I
yeah.
give him
So
that.
that's his problem. He too slow right now. Because his first year he did good. I'll give him credit for his first year, but last year was a hit or miss year. I think he did a little better than the year before, but he need to learn how to take over the game and not rely on Ezekiel Elliott so much because the Cowboys could have gotten the playoffs without Ezekiel Elliott. The
Yep.
problem was, Dak started gaining that goddamn weight, started being a fat ass, and he started making terrible decisions. He need to start getting because he's at 250. He need to get a little smaller. He need to cut that weight off, man. You know what I'm saying? And get and use his mobility. You know what I'm saying to make better decisions than what he been making. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Dak need to make better decisions. That's been his downside. And this year he ain't gonna have no excuse because he got
Hell
Randall
no.
Cobb. He got Randall Cobb and our boy. Gonna have no excuses this year. But Tony Romo has better career numbers than Troy
Yeah.
Aikman and Roger Staubach. But
Yep.
Troy Aikman was a system guy. He worked better
Yep.
around the system because you know what I'm saying. Jimmy Johnson set it up to where it was the run set up the pass. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, let me tell you a story about that. Okay,
uh-huh,
he had the offensive coordinators he had with North Turner and Ernie Zampese. No, he had
uh-huh,
North Turner because
uh-huh.
North Turner fashioned his offense after Ernie
Right.
Zampese. And Turner was talking about the story. He said he wanted to do the shit because said the Zampese way was like, hey, we use up the pass, set up the run.
Mhm.
Because if you run it in every, we want to start off a game plan all the time with Emmett does this, Emmett does that, Troy does this, then back to Emmett, you're gonna be predictable.
Mhm.
So, and really, I think when you had, I'm put like this, when you had receivers like Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin, shout out to him, uh, who's cancer free by the way. So big shout out to that brother. And then when you got Jay Novacek catching the ball in the tight end position, let alone hell, you put him in the slot. Hell, you was guaranteed automatic first down plus from first down yardage plus some. And then you had Daryl Moose Johnston running the ball as a fullback. But I felt Aikman should have put up better numbers if Johnson had to just let the offense be, hey, use the pass, set up the run. And then you also got to keep in mind that 4-3 that Jimmy Johnson ran wasn't that
Uh-huh.
great either.
Well, at least not with the Cowboys. I mean, well, not with the Dolphins. I'll say that Cowboys.
Oh, with the
They
Cowboy I'm put it like this. It was really good when he was at Miami. All it
yeah
was, he ran the Miami 4-3.
yeah
But it required you to do but it was more like it required you to do a lot of work. And let me go back to that question about with the quarterbacks. You also, and here's another thing, coaches, stop making your quarterbacks do all the damn work.
yeah
And you really have, and that's another main thing. You're gonna have to follow the coach. Like, look at Jimbo Fisher. Offense complicated as fuck, and he expect you to run the way it's supposed to be. Jimmy, let me ask you this question. I didn't ask you so many times, didn't get an answer.
mhm.
What would I rather? Okay, would you rather for me to say, Jimmy, run this play? I need you to run me a tight slot, shallow cross option. That's easy for you to remember, right? Or matter of fact, I forgot to put the code in. Tight slot left, shallow cross option. That's easy for you to remember, right?
Right.
Okay. Or would you rather remember something like this? Jimmy, I need you to go out there. I want you to run a 31 left slot tight, flanker slide Q, option choice Sonya.
Mhm. Mhm.
You think you gonna remember all that shit?
No, you're gonna have to simplify this shit.
Yeah, and what I told you earlier, that's the best way. John Gruden was another guy. He said he had to simplify that shit. Said because that was the way. And, Chris Sims talked about that, man. Like he said, he expect you to remember all that damn shit. He said you can't remember all that, you know.
No, you're
But
not.
you know, but it is what it is on that question there. We talked about the Cowboys and stuff. Got one more, and this comes from FedEx guy 2020. He said, "Hello guys. Said been hearing stories. I went back and recently heard had listened to the video of the Let's Draw Something More on Facebook when Craig was talking about what it was like working with his dad, with his pops, God rest his soul, and the work area work with him. I would like to ask you two guys, had it ever crossed you guys' mind as far as working back FedEx again? If so, why and why not?"
Again, and I think I've addressed this before, but I'm gonna I'll say it again for those who haven't listened or those who haven't heard the show.
Mm-hmm.
I would only go back as a driver with a CDL. That would be the only way I would go back to FedEx because I know I can maximize the money. I'll make more than enough money to be fairly compensated. Unless I'm driving on the road for FedEx or a FedEx driver through the Houston metropolitan area, uh, I wouldn't go for anything less than that. Because you're not gonna because if you working in the hub, you're probably gonna get 4 hours, five, six, maybe at best. You know, out here, if you're working in the facility out here, it ain't worth it. You may as well go get you a little warehouse job you know, that makes 14, 15, 16 an hour, out here. So it wouldn't be worth it unless you are a driver out here in Houston. So it is what it is. So it would be a yes, but it would be a conditional yes.
Yep. No, for me. Uh, well, especially not coming back to the hub. Hell no. And I've always said that people that like to work at FedEx with the hub and shit like that, it's for folks working at the hub. It's for folks that don't have shit else that don't have nothing to fall back on.
Exactly.
I mean, I gave, granted, I still say it. I think, and I was gonna say this. I really, true. I think, I believe there are some people out there now that really don't need to be working out there. Because everybody always want to aspire to be managers and all this other shit. I mean, let's face it. You put yourself more at risk as a manager out there than anything. You basically your career lifeline is online. When you're a manager, I mean, and from what I hear, how they get paid, their pay after every 2 weeks be about at least like between two to if you bring home 2,500 G's to 3,000, I mean, yeah, you're doing good. Okay. Um, I heard my guy Bill L. Shout out to him, Michigan's finest.
Uh-huh.
I heard him tell somebody that because I think he was saying at the time with his before he got married again, he said when he had child support taken out his check, he still had a good take home check.
Yep.
So I mean, that was good. I mean, but I wouldn't want to work back. I mean, I wouldn't want to go back, not mainly at the hub. And then, like you said, like as far as the facilities go, I mean, like you said, just may as well hey, just you bet, like what you said, you better off, You better off going to find a little warehouse job out there. Matter of fact, if you're in the Houston area, you better off working at Goodman. So and really, I mean, you better off working at Goodman if you're gonna work at a facility. But I wouldn't move back. I wouldn't move back. I wouldn't want to go back. For a lot of personal reasons. Like a lot of people say, well, Craig, you just can't say you ain't going back to this job because of people. No, I don't want to go back because after what happened to that young man out there 5 years ago, that left a bad taste in my mouth. And then and then everything else. I don't want to work for a company that basically I'm gonna go ahead and say it, murderers still work there.
Yeah.
So and then that shit still sticks. That shit still sticks to my craw to this day, man. And it really hurts. Cause like when I worked at my last job, Centos, I told my old boss about it. He was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't want to work there either." And even the guy that ran the plant, he even said he'd been reading. Well, it was a safety guy. He even said that he was reading some things about it. He was like, "You mean to tell me they let 2 deaths just slide under the rock like under the table?" Like, and I looked at him like, "Yeah." And the reason being is simple, because when you think about it, FedEx World Hub is basically the lifeline of Memphis.
Yeah.
They got to do everything to protect their baby. And now I don't know if you heard or not, Jimmy, they finna start making the package drivers deliver on Sundays. Talking about the cost cutting move. I was like, how that's cutting costs?
It's not.
It's not. I want somebody to give me a reason on that. How is that cutting costs?
Yeah, and like I've been saying, the shit that goes on at FedEx is pretty much the reason why I came over to Houston for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that just told you a lot in the nutshell. This is the reason why I took my African ass to Houston, because it, that shit ain't worth it out there. I'm gonna just be honest with you, bro. It ain't worth it, man. Like the song said, man. So
Mm-hmm.
it is, like I say, unless I get that type of compensation, man, don't even come to me asking about no goddamn FedEx. That's the way I see it. So,
Yeah, me too. Because I mean, and have you ever? Here's a question to me: have you ever shared some stories as to what? Would you ever shared any, some of your personal horror stories of FedEx, like I had? Was there some horrible experiences? Because I know you shared a story about what was the last straw.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, because people, for one, people knew what time it was when they were dealing with me. So I don't think I had what I would call a horror story. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've had some shitty situations, but I don't think I've ever recalled having a horror story. So,
Yeah. I mean, I
you know,
swear mine wasn't no horror stories, and mine was the same way. People knew what time it was with me when it came with me. But sometime, man, like one of my chicks I used to date that worked out there, she said when she worked out there, well, she started out on nights, said she would find herself getting in her car crying.
mhm.
And I thought she was bullshitting. I said, "Are you serious?" She said, "Craig, I'm for real." She said, "When I started on night, said working that offload team, I was just coming to just get in this car, just start crying." And in the job really, and I'm gonna say this, and Jimmy has agreed with me as well. That job will damage your spirit, man. You can be a good spirited person, then you just come home, you just be evil as fuck.
Yeah,
FedEx does damage, and I'm saying FedEx Memphis Hub. I now, granted, I have met some great good people out there. I know on my end, I have several good friends that work out there. You know, I'm gonna give them some props. Big shout out to my boy Adrian Williams. He works in maintenance. Hell, hit him up. He got some horror stories for you. So when he was working outbound and offload and shit like that, you know, a lot of guys. I mean, because you know, we go, you know, and here's the thing: you also have some jealous-hearted people out there too.
I swear, because every time somebody was talking about going to college or doing better for themselves, yeah, that was pretty. I mean, if it wasn't in your area, it was somewhere that it was somewhere that you knew. And motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Like my work area knew what time it was because they knew I traveled a lot. So I can't say for my particular work area, which is the Bell lot, they kind of knew that I was ready to leave Memphis, so they wasn't shocked when I left Memphis. But I had some people at FedEx outside of my work group were talking about, you ain't gonna leave Memphis. I was like, okay, when you see me here, if you see me here tomorrow, then I won't be going nowhere. And they didn't see my ass no more, and I haven't seen that person
Mm-hmm.
there at all. So it is what it
Yeah,
is.
and then that's like, you know, and like when I tied the knot years ago, a lot of people was pissed off about the fact that I was moving to Huntsville, and one person said, you know, your wife talking about, well, you know, hey, your new wife can move up here and work up here with us. I'm like, and I'm not gonna forget the words what my ex-wife said. She's like, I would rather move to Texas before I would move to Memphis. She said, what I look like giving up a job that's paying me 16 an hour to move and work up to FedEx where I'll be making 12, working 4 hours and 12. She said, I can't live off that. She said, we can't live off that. I said, hell no. So, and you know, and I made the right move by doing it, you know. But you know, you got a lot of jealous ass people, and I've stated on some things too. People were jealous of me, and I dealt with some silly ass. I'll put it like this: you ever dealt with a motherfucker that's just so silly, you just want to just say, man, fuck this job, just punch them across their face so hard, you just wish their jaw would just fall off.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I mean, I'm gonna share this one story. Now, like with the potlucks, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay. I'll just say, I ain't gonna forget this time this woman I work with. I guess I think she was before she was expecting her daughter. Way before she was expecting her daughter, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Pops had contributed something to the potluck because Mom's made this fruit salad.
Yeah.
Okay. And I contributed something else. So when I went, young lady named Cherry. Shout out to her, by the way. But Cherry, I don't mean to put you on the spot on it, but you know you was wrong in this ordeal. So when I went to fix my shit, tell me why all of a sudden Cherry decided she wanted to get silly with me and wanted to raise the level of her the bass and her voice of talking about CJ, you don't need to be touching none of that shit. You ain't buy none of it. I said, well, first of all, that fruit salad you stuff in your mouth right there, I paid for it. I paid for the shit for it to be made, so you're welcome. That was my money.
Uh-huh.
I said, so yeah, talking about you, but you still didn't contribute to it. I said, but you still shoving it in your mouth, ain't you? So yeah, I did. So you're welcome. Pops didn't buy nothing out of his pocket. I did. So you're welcome. But you know, the niggas get silly around with potlucks out there at the job and stuff like that, man. And you know, it's just like I said, I didn't, you know, there was just some people, like I said, you had some more jealous ass people out there. Like if, you know, like I said, like with me, when I was getting married at the time, I was getting ready to move to Huntsville and shit. Some people applaud the fact that, hey, you had to do what you had to do. Because, man, ain't shit here in Memphis. While others, and the ones talking about you better off here in Memphis, you know, they just, you know, they are the ones that never want to travel no damn where. And I think the only, and I want to tell you, the only furthest way they'll travel somewhere I'm gonna tell you, nowhere. They'll just travel somewhere in the hood. So that's what. So or the corner store, or up to Kroger, or up to their partner's house and live up in Whitehaven or Fraser or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I would, I wouldn't move back I wouldn't go back to FedEx for that reason, but the reasons that I did stated, I just don't want to deal with. I just don't want to associate myself with none of that shit that be happening up there anymore. And now I heard that these motherfuckers now, instead of doing reviews, they give people a rating system. They will rate you. Your rate, depending on what your rating is, that's how you'll get paid.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, nah, I don't want no motherfucker to rate me. So to rate, I didn't say rape, rate, RATE.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to sound homophobic, but you got a lot of shims. You got a lot. I've worked with some now. Don't get me wrong. Some are cool as fuck. But you got some that straight up just take that shit to the whole fucking next level. That work out there. And it's just like one girl asked me, say, Craig, is that a man or a woman? I said, that's a man. What? And then I rubbed my neck. I said, look at their neck real good. Ain't no way in the hell a woman gonna have shoulders that broad and an Adam's apple.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the gay dudes that work out there at FedEx, they be going overboard out there, man.
Whew.
They go ultra overboard. I mean, I be hating that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to live your lifestyle, live it, but damn, don't.
Yeah, but don't go overboard. Now, like I said, now there's some I work with that's cool as shit. Okay, some of them something's cool as shit, but them ones that go overboard, no, don't come up to Craig like that, man. Hell no, ain't.
Yeah, they. Some of them people, they just take it too goddamn far with them. I'm not even gonna put his name because I want to put his name out there so bad, but like,
no, don't do it.
I ain't gonna
do it.
Put him out there, but
can you say an acronym?
CS. That's his name. That's the acronym. CS. You know?
Okay. He ain't talking. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. He ain't talking about me. God damn it. I'm CS. I'm CLS the second. Yeah. But I know you talking about.
That nigga look like. That nigga look like. What's that singer name? He looked like that hoe from that group. It was a song back in the 80s. If it comes right down to it, I want to get with you. He looked like that motherfucker from that goddamn
song. I know you talking about, bro.
You know who I'm talking about. He looked just like that. Hey, he looked just like that hoe. You know who I'm talking about if you know who that is. Yeah, and both of those people from that group is no longer with us. But rest in peace to both of them. But he looked just like that motherfucker, man. Because I'm like, man, because I remember that song in the 90s. And then when I first came to FedEx, I seen this motherfucker. That nigga had the same exact perm and the same exact face as this motherfucker. I'm like, damn, nigga. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, god damn, man. Y'all taking me too far back in the 90s up in this bitch.
Man, what? God damn. Yeah, I just shake my head on some of that. I just shake my head on some of this shit. Now, here's the difference. Now, that's why I said that was one big difference between me and my pops. My pops was very homophobic.
Here's the thing.
But then this is the thing. He will call him. But go ahead.
Let me stop you about that homophobic thing. That's a fucking made up term. Because homophobia by definition means you fearful of them people. Don't ever. I'm not trying to put you on blast, but don't ever say that about your father being homophobic. That's one of the made up ass white supremacist ass terms that I'm getting sick of black people getting that stigma of homophobic. Like one thing about us, we're tolerant of gay people. The thing
Yeah.
is, we're one of those people that bitch don't broadcast your business. That's kind of like how black people is, because we've always had to deal with them to a certain degree because we had choir members, we've had
Mm-hmm.
family members that we knew was gay. We kind of like, just don't come disrespecting us. Just don't come trying to persuade us to be the way that don't be trying to persuade us to get in that lifestyle. So from
Right.
this hit thing, don't say that. Don't use
All
that
right.
white.
So
But go ahead, brother.
but he didn't, he didn't particularly care too much for gays.
Exactly.
He didn't. And there was one point in time, man. He almost. There was one point in time. I never shared the story till now. He almost got fired
Mhm.
because he called somebody because he called a dude out for what he was. He called the fag. He called he said you fucking fag. I'm like, and I had to walk off from him, man. I'm like, and they ain't gonna talk about well, you could have defended. No, that wasn't my battle to help you win, dog. And I told him when we was going home in the car, talking about you knew you could have helped. I said, no, that's on you. That's
Mhm.
on you. I ain't gonna never call somebody out or their name unless somebody called me out my name. Cause true enough, we did have a lesbian that was in the work area that I first started with. Cause she already knew if she fucked around, called me son of a bitch, I was gonna call her for what she was. So much respect to her. But yeah, he was very, my pop. He was very fearful. He was very he like what I say earlier.
You said homophobic, but you said well you said he didn't care.
He didn't care too much. He didn't care too much for ones like that. Now there was some like okay if they were normal, but yeah they played the down low shit. Okay, and if he had a lot of respect for him, okay. But he had like all the ones that'd just be walking off switching and all this other little shit and everything and whatnot. And he ain't want fuck he ain't want them he ain't want none of them like them around him. And he felt the same way. If you go that route, keep it to yourself.
That's the way I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't particularly hate them, but don't come around me with that shit. That's the way I'm kind of like nigga. I'm like the military, or at least the way the military should be, because they've been back and forth with the don't ask, don't tell. I think Donald Trump
Mm-hmm.
is like don't ask, don't tell, but they've been switching that shit. One judge say don't ask, don't tell is one thing. Say they should switch around, which in the military that you shouldn't even be able to advertise that bullshit. My That's my personal opinion about that shit. But it is what it is when it comes to that, man. You know, it
Yep.
is what it is when it comes to that. But
So and yes, and that, my friends, is it.
uh, oh, let me address a particular white supremacist troll and a minion before I get the hell about this motherfucker. Now, it was a troll that tried to call himself Jamal Lewis. I'm assuming it's a white supremacist. And I'm going to address Yeti and all his minions personally. I mean, right now. Let me tell you hoes something. You can come with all the goddamn shit about how scared I am of a fucking debate and all this other good shit. First of all, bitch, I'm not scared of a debate with you. First of all, ho, I asked you to come on my show, but the thing is, you were filibustering about agreeing to the terms of my conditions. I'm not gonna drag ass with no motherfucker who filibustering talking about well send this no, do you agree to the terms, ho? You didn't agree to the fucking terms. So bitch whine all the fuck you want, you little white supremacist, you dog loving, dog fucking, child pedophile booty loving motherfucker. You can do all the goddamn shit you want. You can control my shit. And if YouTube got a problem with it, fuck y'all too. I will take this platform and put it all on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? And I will go through a time where my shit ain't monetized. Because I'm gonna say what the fuck I want on this goddamn show. I don't give a fuck about you Yeti and all your fucking minions or whoever you send or whatever page you try to pretend yourself like. You know what I'm saying? You trying to pretend like you a black person. Bitch, I know you ain't that black person. Bitch, you a hoe. You an entire hoe. Yeti, all your minions, or however many pages you got, 20 different pages you got, you can come in this chat room all you want. Every time you come in my chat room, it's getting blocked. To this day, to this day, to this day, it's getting blocked up in this motherfucker. Because I don't got time for white supremacist trolls. Because all you gonna do is deflect and waste my motherfucking time and waste my brother Craig time and waste my viewers' time all you want. So you keep on fucking your dogs with your tick and fleas, dick having ass motherfucker, you little boy booty, pedophile loving motherfucker. Yeah, I want YouTube to flag this motherfucker because goddamn it, I'll take my shit somewhere else. And I'm putting YouTube on notice right goddamn now. To this day, you come fucking with my channel, YouTube. This is the last time I will be on this motherfucker because goddamn it, I'm gonna find me a way to make some money and have to get this message out. You know what I'm saying? I don't limit myself to YouTube or ScrewTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna limit myself to this, but you need to do something about these goddamn white supremacist trolls that be in my inbox calling me all types of niggas. That's the reason why I started to show off roasting these goddamn KJ fans, these goddamn UK fake boxing fans. Now y'all talking a gang of shit about that motherfucker. You know, take your motherfucking L. But anyway, back to this Yeti, this white supremacist. Yeah, I'm on your ass to this day. To this day. Yeah. So Yeti, or whoever the minion of Yeti is, whoever one of you motherfuckers, I don't got time for you bitches. This is my last time addressing you hoes. Everything that's gonna be addressed is gonna be addressed with my brother. Block, hoe. Block. Now run and tell that. Come on in my comment section again so I can block that ass. Because every time you come in my comment section, you getting the 8-6. It's gonna be erased. Because like Craig said, I'm not the dude you want to fuck with. You wouldn't meet me in the street for a million years. Because if you said half the shit you said to me that was ultimately blocked, you would get knocked the fuck out. Like Deontay Wilder. I would do a Deontay Wilder on your ass and knock you the fuck out. And yes, I'm saying this. This ain't no goddamn threat. That's a motherfucking promise, goddammit. YouTube can say whatever the fuck they want. They can do whatever the fuck they want with this goddamn page. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. You're not gonna harass me. You're not gonna come to me with no white supremacist bullshit.
Was that my piece?
You wouldn't be
No, you still got enough.
No, I'm talking about it. I took that one piece off the dish, off the sheet. That's why I was asking. Was that my piece?
No.
That's it?
No, hold on, Jim. I'm on my podcast. No, you still got something. You still got something in here. Because the longer piece it broke off. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
It's a second interruption. Yeah, but what I mean cut you off, and see the dude that said Jamal Lewis, the Jamal Lewis dude, and then he got the nerve to have for his profile picture a white dude with paint with a black. It looked like to me that it looked like it's a white guy.
Yeah, I mean,
so that he has on there, and I even stated that, and Jimmy, you did have to give me a little G check a little bit when I put the video out about with Yeti, and I was speaking the truth. He don't. You was the one person that he don't want. So.
Yeah, and it wasn't to piss on you. I wasn't trying to piss on you. I just let you know how you need to deal with him. Because the reason why he coming to my page anyway is because he's co-signing a nigga named Keyboard Cool, who was a avid stalker, who wants Tariq Nasheed booty hole, but he ain't gonna give it to him. And Tariq don't even acknowledge that hoe because all he doing is he's a stalker. That's what the fuck he is. So I know what type of background this white supremacist has. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting them know right now and putting them on notice. Look, I'm gonna ignore everything you put out there. Everything you put in my comment section, you put in the chat room comment section, it's gonna be blocked from this point on because you ain't worth my time. He's not worth my time. This is gonna be my last time addressing that little hoe. And I'm gonna know if it's Yeti or one of his minions of Yeti because it's gonna get blocked. It's gonna be up out of there. because I deleted half the shit he said, because he said whole lot of racist ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going. That's one thing about me. I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going to this day. To this day. That's my get down on it. You got anything you want to address to that hoe before I get the hell up off this bitch?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Once again, guys, great show today, man. Live and direct in full effect out the 832 with my brother, my black brother from another, out the 662. And y'all already know how both of us do. Peace out. Have a good Sunday and enjoy your work week.
And the pleasure has been all yours, peoples.